In my never-ending quest for the perfect two-in-one, I'm looking for something with a decent screen, good performance, good build quality, and most importantly, a great price. I think I might have found one that might fit the bill. Hi, my name's Andrew, and this is the review of the Cube iWork1x. Let's find out if it's worth your money. Sometimes when you're on the go, you don't want to take your heavy, expensive laptop with you. You want to take something thin and light, has a decent screen, that's also a two-in-one that can serve as a tablet and won't break the bank. That's where this comes in. It's the iWork1x from Cube, and Banggood sent it over for review, and I'm glad they did because this is a good value and a decent offering. What you get under the hood is the Intel X5 Z8350 Cherry Trail processor with 4GB of RAM and 64GB of eMMC storage. It's not the lightest two-in-one. The tablet only weighs 1.63 pounds, and with the keyboard dock it weighs 3.22 pounds. Now, it's certainly thin at 0.40 inches, and although it's mostly plastic, it has very good build quality. I was really surprised in just how good that build is. The iWork1x sports an 11.6-inch IPS touch display with a resolution of 1920 by 1080. That's 189.9 pixels per inch, and that's a 16:9 aspect ratio. This is a non-laminated display, meaning there's a slight gap between the panel and the glass itself, but nonetheless, this is a very sharp, bright panel that has very good viewing angles. Overall, I have to say they did a great job on that screen. Now, I'm a little bit disappointed they didn't go with USB Type-C on this device. Going forward, that's a more modern, more future-thinking port. Instead, they went with a micro USB 2.0. A little bit disappointing. But I am glad to see a full-size USB Type-A 3.0 that can power external USB hard drives. And it does have a micro SD card slot for storage expansion that can take up to 128GB cards. On the other side of the device, you have your one of two side-firing speakers, and we'll talk about the sound later in this review. And on the top of the device, you have your power button along with your volume rocker up and down. Now, a must-have accessory is the keyboard dock, and I'll put the link below to where you can find out more information. Now, it's a $69 purchase, but it is well worth it because it does provide two additional USB Type-A ports, one on each side. Now, unfortunately, they're not USB 3.0, but only 2.0. Nonetheless, it's nice to see two additional USB Type-A ports that are full-sized. Now, as far as the keyboard is concerned, I was really impressed on how well this worked. It has very good key travel, and it was very comfortable to type on, and I was really very surprised on just how good that was, especially for long periods of typing. And really had good, comfortable feel. The clickiness on the keyboard really came through. I really liked it. Now, the touchpad, as far as that's concerned, is actually pretty good considering this is a Chinese device and traditionally they don't have great touchpads. But this actually worked well. Two-finger scrolling actually worked, and Windows 10 gestures worked as advertised. Now, overall, I'd have to say this is a nice, sturdy keyboard, and I think they did a very good job. It didn't have much flex on it. One thing I really did like was when you open up the device, it gives you a nice typing angle when connected to this keyboard dock. A really nice touch. The Cube iWork1x has two side-firing speakers. They were okay, not great, and let's take a look and a listen at our latest video to see them in action.
Android Wear 2.0 has finally arrived. After numerous delays, we finally have our hands on it, and a slew of new smartwatches are on the way as well. Up first is the ones from LG, the LG Watch Style, and the watch you see here, the LG Watch Sport, which I picked up from the Google Play Store for $349.
Now, the speakers weren't terrible. They were definitely serviceable, but they didn't blow me away either. Now, they sounded a little bit tinny, lacked a little bit bass, and volume was a little bit challenged. But overall, I say they are okay, not the worst I've ever heard. Now, there's a 2-megapixel webcam on the front. There is no webcam on the back, but let's take a look at that front-facing webcam.
So this is the webcam on the Cube iWork1x, and as you can see, it's a bit grainy. Keep in mind this room is not evenly lit, not properly lit for video, and as you can hear from the microphone, not very good in that department as well. Muffled sound.
The Cube iWork1x runs Windows 10 Home, and it has 4 GB of RAM. Now, the 4 GB of RAM out of the box does not run at its full 1600 MHz capacity, rather at 1066. That can be remedied if you go into the BIOS and switch it back to the 1600 MHz capacity, and I think they did this because they wanted to save on battery life. Now, as far as the Geekbench 4 test, it did 1,894 on the multi-core score, pretty typical for this class of device. And on the built-in graphics, it did 5,039 on the OpenCL score of that same test. Now, I was glad to see that they used Sandisk eMMC storage at 64 GB in capacity, of which 41.7 GB are available to the user. Now, speaking of this eMMC, here's how it did on the Crystal Dismark scores. It did a 141.9 on the read and a very healthy 92.37 on the write. That's actually pretty good for this class of eMMC. Normally, those scores aren't that high. Now, as far as wireless is concerned, it uses the Realtek 802.11n and it has Bluetooth 4.0. Everything worked as advertised. I didn't have any issues with the wireless reception. One strong suit of this device is its battery life. It has an 8,000 milliampere battery, and here's how it did on the AMDtech endurance test. Under moderate use, it did 7 hours and 4 minutes, and under light use, it did 8 hours and 12 minutes. Under heavy load, you're going to get about 5 to 6 hours at most. Now, if there is a negative about this device, it does take a long time to charge, about 5 hours, and that's due to its 5 volts, 2 amps in terms of charging. So, at the end of the day, can I recommend the Cube iWork1x? Is it worth your hard-earned money? And the answer is yes, as long as you're looking for a secondary device. Now, here's what I like. I like its bright, full HD IPS touch display. I like its good battery life, full-size USB 3.0 port on the tablet itself, its good keyboard that provides 2 additional USB 2.0 ports. I like its design, I like its build quality, and I like the fact that the RAM can be set to its full 1600 MHz capacity. And of course, it comes in at a very good price. And as with most devices, there are things that need improvement. Here's what I don't like. It ran a little bit hot during gaming, its speakers were somewhat average, and it took a very long time, 5 hours to be specific, to charge this device. It had a subpar webcam, but you really can't expect much from these Chinese devices in that department anyway. But the biggest negative to me was the lack of USB Type-C. Rather, they went with the dated micro USB to charge this device, which I think was a miss. But with those few negatives aside, I have to say Cube did a very nice job on this device, and as a secondary device, not as your main unit, but as a secondary laptop / 2-in-1 that can operate as both a tablet and a laptop that you want to take with you on the go, this certainly checks those boxes. It has a very nice display, very good keyboard option, great battery life, and overall decent looks, making this a very good value. That's why I'm going to give it 74%. It's a decent 2-in-1 that won't break the bank, making this worth your money.
So what do you think about the Cube iWork1x? Do you think it's something you might be interested in? I think it might check a lot of the boxes as a very good secondary 2-in-1. It has a good screen, it has a very good battery life, it has very good build quality. Even though it's plastic, it's still very good build quality nonetheless. I was really surprised about that. But the webcam and the microphone certainly leaves much to be desired, as you saw in that demonstration. But I'm curious to know what you think. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Perhaps the biggest thing that I like about this device is its price to value ratio. It really gives you good performance, the good screen, the good sound, everything you want at a good price. But I'm curious to know what you think. Leave a comment in the comment section below. So please hit the like button, please subscribe, please share this video. Don't forget to leave a comment in that comment section below. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know if there's a device or something out there you think I should review. I'll do my best to try to make that happen. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and on Twitter. And check out our website at AMDtechreviews.com. So until next time, this is Andrew from AMDtech. See ya.